What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. Sin and Jokes are in the building with me, and as you can clearly see, we have a special guest with us, and we're gonna get to that. JD, you can just wave for now. You know what I mean? Like, just say hi. You folks are now tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all the things that are happening in pop culture news and so forth. And today, well, we have a guest. So we're going to talk about entertainment and Big Lick Comic Con. We are not going to talk about WrestleMania 40. Let's just make that clear.
See, you shouldn't have said it because then maybe no one would have.
Don't do that, okay?
Yes, we've been banned from speaking on WrestleMania 50 for this episode, 40 for this episode. So,
what is it?
What's up, Cuddy? Yeah, I mean, listen, we have a place for that. We're gonna get to that. I know. Like, listen, but you wouldn't see her, so like it changes it. You don't need to. We don't need to talk about her. Oh no, Perp says it's been a sad week for hip hop. At the same time, the most hilarious things have come out. But I'm glad y'all are live right now. I need this. Perp, we are happy you are here.
What's up, Perp?
That is for sure. It's not so sad when J. Cole makes an apology. It's a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's okay. Listen, Jokes, you have a job to do.
Yes, sir.
So Jokes is going to get our Beacons link in the chat for everyone. That is the best and easiest way to follow us across the board. So if you go to that link, you'll be able to see all of the stuff we do across all of our socials. Some are sillier than others. Working on getting Sin to dance. We're still gonna try to work that TikTok thing out. Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes. So let me shout out my top tier patrons. Started with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbaye, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
We do truly appreciate you. Trinidadian and G, what's up, Marcus? How are you? Listen, with all of that said and done, the only other thing I need to make sure you all know, hey, Candace, really quickly, again, just a reminder, our Loading Snacks versus Autism 2024 shirts are live right now. Jokes, if you could get that link up for everyone, I would appreciate it. Again, we have two different versions. There are blue colored shirts again to support autism just in that color, but if you want something that's a little bit different where the lettering is blue, but you want to get something that maybe is in a different color, everybody's not comfortable wearing a bright blue color, you can do that. Again, just like every year, all the proceeds are going to get donated to help build autism awareness. It's just one of those things that's close to us. We think it's super important. We'd love to have your support. So even if you're not interested in buying, if you would share and let other people know that they can go there, purchase a shirt, all the proceeds will get donated. We'll make sure we take care of that like we do every year. Now, it is my extreme pleasure to introduce the man you see sitting like cat corner to me. It's hard with like, it's difficult with.
I started to figure go the opposite way.
I had the easy jump down.
This way and then down. Yeah, that was JD Sutphin. Did I say that? Is it Sutphin? Sutphin. Okay. Yeah. Like it looks. Like it looks. JD, you are the founder and creative director for Big Lick Entertainment, correct?
Yep.
So before we talk about Big Lick Comic Con Nova, which is coming this weekend, which we are excited to be going to and spending time at and so forth, tell me a little bit about Big Lick Entertainment, how that started, where that came from.
Yeah, so I was a radio DJ and a musician. Let's go back 11 years now, so 2013. I was at iHeart. I was a DJ in Richmond for a few years, and in the Roanoke, Virginia market. Usually like in alt radio and rock radio stations, like the marketing guy, music director, program director, all that kind of fun stuff. And I started doing events for the radio station, which was super fun. But in the only thing that wasn't fun is when you work for like a huge company, you get restrictions and that kind of stuff. And it can be kind of hard. Bosses that don't understand you and all that kind of stuff. And in the midst of all of that and doing all that, I had a really bad death in my family. My little cousin, he stopped a bar fight he had nothing to do with, got in between two guys and got stabbed and died.
Wow.
And it rocked me. And in the midst of all of that, like I couldn't like focus to be on the radio anymore. And I was, I want to do something for myself. Life is really short. And he had this whole mentality that he like, even back then on Facebook and MySpace back in the day, and would talk about positive thinking equals positive results, and how like you got to be out in your community to see something happen. If you want something to happen in your community, well, you should do it. Don't let it
go do it.
Go do it. And I went to this like conference that was kind of like a TED Talks thing that was happening in my hometown. And going to see it and hearing these people talk about community and events and how it can drive the economy and drive creativity and commerce can live together. I went back to that radio job and quit my job that day. With no plan. I didn't know. I didn't have a contract signed. I didn't have a dollar planned. I didn't have 401k. I didn't have retirement. Even though I've been there for 10 years, I didn't have any.
You just knew that wasn't what you wanted to do anymore.
I didn't want to do it anymore. Yeah. And the guy that was kind of my mentor, the way he described that, I'd never heard this before. He was like, it was your crucible moment. And I was like, that's, and I went on to start Big Lick Entertainment, knowing that I wanted to do something where we could like benefit the community, but then also do stuff with nonprofits and charity. And since then we've raised millions of dollars for charity.
That's awesome.
For everything from, kids with cancer to community centers and after school programs and a lot of different things. And then in 2017, the Comic-Con happened because I was raised on comics. Like the only reason like I really started getting into music, because I know we've got a bunch of mutual friends, in Baltimore and stuff. Kevin Hawk, play shows with him all the time. Was because I was reading comic books. I'm reading like Jim Lee X-Men comics and listening to Metallica. So it was like the next thing was if I'm trying to draw the X-Men while listening to guitar, I'd love to play guitar as well. Now there's guitars behind me. So it literally just like put me on a path. And so then comics were really important. And now I had this company that could do events. It's like, well, what if we can try to like grow that into a Comic-Con that was different and very creator based.
Focused on the creativity portion of it.
And the thing that's, and to me, I want to be more ambiguous about that. Like, that's why I love Awesome Con. Like, they don't have to say they're a comic con. Like, you can be a creativity convention.
Sure.
And still be celebrating comic books just as much as I want to celebrate wrestling. Because they were superheroes to me when I was a kid.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? When I saw
who was your favorite wrestler of all time?
Hulk Hogan, hands down, when I was a kid.
All right. I'm not mad at that. I'm a Ric Flair guy, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
And Sting was my jam. I thought he was incredible. Like, I got to watch the Super Bowl, last Super Bowl, or February of last year, with Lex Luger, right?
Oh, wow.
And like,
who is going to be there this weekend?
It's going to be here this weekend. And I'll tell you, like, I'd had a couple of beverages.
Sure.
And I look over and I was like, I have known your face my entire life. And I think the word that I said, I was like, you have been a visceral part of my childhood. And it meant something to me, man. I was like, you were a total dude that like nobody was gonna mess with Lex Luger. That guy's gonna destroy. Like who's so good. And to me, like what a Comic-Con is all just here. Here. It has nothing to do with the vendors or however many books are being sold at the event. It's if you really feel it.
It's energy. It's energy.
And the whole reason why the company started in the first place, it then through COVID and stuff like that, where we didn't have any events and everything, the comic convention has redefined my entire company, where we really focus on the Comic-Cons more than anything. Then we opened a comic book shop in 2021.
I was just gonna ask. So when did that happen? Okay. So where's the shop located?
It's in Roanoke, Virginia.
It is in Roanoke.
It's huge, man. I mean, you got to see it. It's a total experience. Like my dad and my grandfather, great grandfather were all antique dealers and had like big, like cool antique stores. And my grandfather back in the 50s opened the first flea market in Virginia. And I've got the newspaper from the 50s. And people thought the flea market was a traveling circus. They thought there was going to be like monkeys and stuff.
You know, they had no idea what they were really getting.
Like a little car and everything.
Boston says road trip. Let's do it. Road
And
trip.
my
Let's go.
grandfather's just this guy. He's like, no, it's like people selling furniture. You know, he had no understanding why people thought that's what it was. But like, as he traveled a lot, and so like my childhood was like American Pickers, like going to the bars.
Yeah.
Pinball.
First of all, I love that show. Mike Wolf is an awesome dude. Are you kidding me? American Pickers is like
seriously me and my brother, and that was a funny thing too. Like, you know, we're in like, you know, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, at a huge like flea market or something. Like, please God, let there be action figures here.
Yeah.
It's like a Saturday morning at 7:15 a.m. and your dad's got you up,
dragging you out to go find stuff.
Chester drawers and armoires and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, if there's an X-Men book here, my whole weekend is set.
You're good.
You know?
Because you could read it over and over and over again all weekend and you'd be happy.
And then when I look at like the comic convention, I see like there's like 250 vendors that all have really cool things. And I want to like shake my son and be like, you don't know how good you have it.
You know?
So easy you can just walk in here and you can find something that you like, regardless of what it is.
Right.
100%.
There's 400 different Wolverine action figures in this room. You have no idea. You know?
You just have to make a decision. Your issue is being frozen by decision. Which one do I get? Not like
then it comes out. I want all of them.
Select. You know.
Exactly.
It's just
awesome. So listen, the first of all, I mean, I didn't know that, and you know, to have something that is as positive as what this is, born out of something that is such tragedy, right? You do have to plant things in the dirt to see them grow. Like that's just kind of how it is, right? So I just want to say that that's an awesome thing that you just kind of had that crucible moment to make that decision to decide this is what I want to do, because now you are working to bring this kind of happiness to all these other people, and you're living it, but you're also presenting it for other people. Which I think that, you know, again, if you come from that music world, we're all, you know, from the music world. Andrew says Roanoke is an awesome place. I work at a camp near there called Easter Seals, and I love visiting Roanoke.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome, Andrew. Yeah. Look, we're all music geeks too. It's like we played in the band. You know what I mean? We all played instruments. Like music is a lot of where I come from. And even though that's, for instance, Kevin Hawk is like, we know him from this world. We know him because he put together a comic and was making a comic, and that's how we met him. Yeah. And then found out he did all the music stuff, right? And it just, you know, it all kind of comes together. But we are firm believers that a geek is someone who is just really into anything they really love. You just kind of know it through and through. Yeah. Which is again what our panel is going to be about when we present it at Big Lick this weekend. So yeah, I mean, again, very awesome to hear that story. Thank you for sharing that, because you don't necessarily have to go, you know, back that far, you know, to talk about that. But you know, I do want to I want to talk about Nova. I want to talk about Big Lick Nova, because you've had Big Lick Roanoke, the convention since you said 2017, right? Yep. Hey Zaina. What made you decide you wanted to come to Nova, to Northern Virginia area? So
actually it's a double-edged sword, and one of those swords one of the sides of the sword is music. Like I played up there all the time. Whether I was playing it, I played 930 Club. I played
DC.
The big what was the stadium that we used to play at? RFK. I played a few times up there for the St. Patrick's Day event. Just a blast. And that was in my old band Madrone. We played Jam and Java all the time. We played up at George Mason at, what was it, like Fat Tuesdays or something? That was I remember playing, what was that little place that was in Fairfax? TT Reynolds. Remember that place?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh man, that's like super cool spot. We're talking about like 2007. And I'm 41 years old. So I love that area. I thought it was super cool. And then the thing that happened naturally through the con in Roanoke is I become really good friends with our exhibitors and our vendors. And one of which is Mark Nathan, that owns the Baltimore Comic Con. And then Thomas Chellamy, that owns Comics and Gaming that's in Gainesville, also has a location in Delaware. And they were like, man, he's like, you know, you should really think about doing a con up in Northern Virginia. There's a really cool venue up here that's like in a shopping center, and the metro runs there, and there's 15 restaurants around it. And to me, it's like, I think about it as a patron of like, where would I want to go?
Right.
Like an 8-year-old son of like, cool, there's a barbecue place right there, and a pretty inexpensive hotel next door that's pretty nice. Like all those little check marks. And
Frosty said they were just talking about TT Reynolds.
Nice. That was an awesome spot back in the day. And there's a band called Super Bob we used to play with all the time up there. If you guys
Super Bob.
Yeah.
Cool.
And but yeah, like, you know, I started looking around at the venues, and I had a business partner that had used that same venue before, which is Dulles Expo Center. And just decided, you know, let's take a jump and try to do it in a different market. And it actually felt like the band was going on tour. You know, let's hit the road.
That's kind of cool.
And it was one of those things too. It's like, and you know, just I'm transparent about it. You're like, well, do we call it the same thing? Because people are going to be like, what the hell is Big Lick? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Because in Roanoke, everyone knows that that's the Native American name of Roanoke, Virginia.
Right. Yeah.
And I have a ton of Cherokee in my family. And I thought like, that's really cool and a different name. And you didn't hear it used in Roanoke that much at that time when I created the company. And then I also wanted people to kind of be like, did you say Big Lick?
Right, yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, I mean, it's a great selling. Yeah, it sticks with people.
Awesome Con was taken, which is a great name.
Well,
so,
100%.
There. And there's so many great con names out there that I'm like, man, why didn't I come up with Fan Expo? That's amazing. What a great name, you know, or Galaxy Con. It's genius.
Sure.
Great name.
Sure.
So I stuck with Big Lick, and people think that I'm like in the adult industry or something sometimes, which is hilarious.
Listen, curveball. You could make it happen. I suppose.
You know,
You know, I'm pretty positive people would make their way out to Dulles for an adult convention called Big Lick. Like, I don't think
easily
you have any trouble.
Oh man, that's fantastic. Yeah, but I mean, but yeah, I mean, we did the first one there in the smaller room they've got, and the vibe was just really, really cool. And then but it was way too constricted, you know, being in a smaller space. I'm like, you know, let's take the jump and try to go to that big room next door, which is 100,000 square feet. And we sold it out last year of exhibitors and vendors. And and this year is pacing ahead really, really hard. So, and I noticed in Roanoke, it was the third con that we did in Roanoke.
That really hit.
That's when people were like, these people are cool. They're serious. I've met these people before. Like, cause I went, like we use no volunteers. It's an entire staff. And it's the same people at 99% of the time. Yeah. And I want you to know my people. This is my band that's coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is like traveling with your band, having your backup, the people who break down and put everything together, and like knowing who you're traveling with. It is like having your band and going on tour for sure. Andrew said, heck, people go to Salisbury for a reptile convention. I think Andrew's pushing you in the adult.
I think that's the lane you might want to look into.
He might call it a reptile convention, but I don't. Maybe it's a little different.
That's fantastic.
Look, we do know that you have a convention happening this weekend and have things you have to do, but I do want to talk about some of the guests that you have coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to let people know some of what they're going to see. So we're going to kind of go through some of what's happening. I'm going to pop some stuff up on screen. Look, having the 1987 voice cast of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all there together is incredible. How do you pull that off?
Yeah, I mean, you know what's so neat about that is like I've only seen one other con that had all 5 of them, all 4 turtles with April. One. And what's so neat is that's because of just like us talking right now, it's those building those relationships. And we've been really fortunate that over the past few years that we rarely use agents anymore. We have the guests that reach out directly to us.
That's cool.
And as well as the very select few agents that we work with, just building that relationship of knowing, like, you know, because they have to tell these people like they could go anywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely. People are going to pay to meet those people wherever they want to go. They get carte blanche and going like, where do I want to go this weekend? And the thing that we hope that the agents and the other guests say to those, like, you're going to meet some really cool people that really give a shit about. Pardon my language.
Valid.
I get it.
But you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to meet people that I purposefully try to put my ticket price as low as I possibly can. I do my vendor booth as low as I possibly can, because everyone needs to be able to go to meet these people, because it meant something.
Yeah, you really do have to consider what it costs to get in, and then what kind of money people have left to spend with your vendors, and to spend money to go see your guests and that kind of thing. And having that balance is we've been doing conventions for a long time. We see a lot of the in and outs and the behind the scenes stuff, and that is a really, really big thing, making sure that you keep it low enough that people will come,
right?
But then they also have money to spend when they get there.
Totally.
Is a big deal. So what that means is, and again, this is a thing that's important to us. It means that as a business, as a company that's running something like this, you value your guests, the people who are coming, and you also value your patrons, right?
Totally.
You also value your vendors. You understand what it is to pay for a table and be there and need to do better than break even.
Yeah.
Paying for that table in that space. And so, that's just a really important thing. And just in years of doing this, we've seen it go well and we've seen it not go well.
Yeah.
Right. And so, kind of having that balance is really hard to do. I think that, again, like knowing that you don't do volunteers, that you have paid staff that are people that are there because they want to be there and because they're getting paid to be there and know and understand what's going on, is very different than having volunteers that are not necessarily running around loosely, but you ask them a question, they're like, I think if you go here, you can get, what I mean? It makes a difference. And so that's the kind of thing, that I think gets back to those people when you make contacts with folks to say, hey, come do our show, right? Is a big deal. So that's really cool. It's super awesome. I'm excited about seeing all of them on stage together, having a panel, like that's gonna be incredible. Look, I have to say that these two gentlemen, so we shot an interview with them at AwesomeCon, well, not this past year, but the year before. The most awesome and gracious two, and amazing. Having that double bang for your buck, like they, again, not unlike yourself, just two of the just gracious, so happy to talk to people and meet people.
Totally.
Look, if you don't know Pinky and the Brain, you will, right?
That's
right. Those are your homies. They stopped and took good pictures with you. So it's gonna be really exciting to see them. I just got done talking to this gentleman, Cal Dodd. The original voice of Wolverine, the current voice of Wolverine, X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Awesome singer. Again, music again in the background, right? Played in bands and did all that kind of stuff before he was even a voice actor.
Right.
What goes in, and there's at least a couple more guests I want to show, but what goes into making the decisions about who you book?
So
when you book,
I am really selfish about that, because I booked every single guest, and I put myself in that situation of like, I need to be really stoked about every person that we're bringing in.
Facts.
Real palpable reason as to why, because I want it to just feel like it's like a petting zoo of like, here's 60 people in this room that are from all kinds of stuff. Like, it needs to feel curated, and it to have like a vibe with it, where it was one of those things of like, and a lot of times it happens really organically, because it's like, well, who's available, and then you start building from there. And the first thing we did though was, I was like, Turtle's 40th anniversary. I was turning 40. I was like, this is the one. And it was like, what can we do? And we got them first, and it was like, okay, well, Saturday morning, X-Men. Okay, Saturday morning, Guy Gilchrist, who he was hired by Jim Henson to do his cartoon strip. So it's like, when I think of Muppet Babies when I was a kid, so that was
my gosh,
huge for me.
One of the best theme songs ever made.
It was a perfect. Are you
kidding me? Yeah,
perfect. And the fact that they were like, hey, let's make sure that the show's always from the kid's perspective. Literally, you're not even going to see the adult's face.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge. It was brilliant, and anything connected to Jim Henson, to me, it's like, magic exists. That guy was totally directly in line with whatever his magic lightning rod was or something.
Yep, 100%.
And so then when I saw that, it was like, okay, we can put all these things together. And then I started thinking, okay, 90s. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I already know Karen. I've had Karen before. And Karen,
let's do it. I mean,
and the thing that is so
not only Karen Parsons.
And Karen Parsons to me is as perfect of a Comic-Con guest as you could imagine, because not only was she a part of arguably the greatest television show of the 90s.
Yeah.
At least the most culturally impactful show of the 90s.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then on top of that, she's now a children's book author that gives all the money to charity. So it's like, okay, who would meet this person?
Perfect alignment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I want to say, thank you, Karen. It's very nice to meet you, and for your contributions to pop culture. But then the fact that you get Tatiana to come with her, it's like,
awesome. Money.
Like that show was everything to me. I adored that show.
I mean, the touchstones that are there, like this is, I'm gonna say it, like this is our era. Like I think everybody thinks they had the greatest era growing up, but they're wrong. It's ours. Like like we had the original Transformers, and we had He-Man, and we and in the 90s, and you get like Fresh Prince and all that kind of stuff. Doctor Who, how are you? Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a star-studded lineup, right? You have incredible people who are there. You've got people who are really great at speaking with and being involved with your patrons who come and pay their money to get in and come see them. They're the kind of people that will talk to them, that will spend time with them, that will those kind of things matter so much. A lot of times you go to these bigger conventions or other conventions just in general, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna get to take a picture, but it's gonna be like, stand here, smile, done, get out. Like it's just very like it's very robotic and very cold. And again, like being there last year, the folks that you had there last year with me, it was the same way. It was very much like, these are people who like want to talk to the people that are here and appreciate that they were a part of our growing up, or in some manner meant something to us. And so they take that time to spend with them. So I think that also speaks to your background in music, that the idea of making sure that you're curating the people who come, and that it all kind of makes sense to me. That's very much like putting together strong playlists to play over the next 2 hours, because we're putting that
flows, man.
It's a perfect way to kind of put something like that together. I love that. Andrew said my jaw dropped when I saw you got Amy Jo Johnson for Roanoke's. Props to you. I mean,
I went to Awesome Con last year because she'd been on my list for years. And my friend that is, of course, you guys are aware, dearly departed, but Jason David Frank was a really good friend of mine. And I wanted to book her, and he was just going to set it up for me, which was awesome. Yeah. And I never got to meet her, and I was trying to track down the agent and stuff like that. And she's very picky. She only does about 5, 6, 7 years a year. So I went to Awesome Con last year, and I was like, I'm just going to,
gotta do it. Yeah.
And she got, her line was crazy in Roanoke. Crazy.
Yeah. I believe it.
So like, she wanted to talk to everyone as long as they wanted to talk to her. She wanted to make sure that you got the moment that you deserved out of this. It was like, when they're like aware of that, that's powerful. We had Sean Astin in Roanoke as well. And like his line was bonkers, because we were like, Sean, you've got to go, you got to, and he's like, no, I'm going to talk as long as they want to talk to me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, people again, that's the kind of thing that like you recognize that you have people that want to do that. They want to spend time with those people who are coming, people traveling to come see you, So again, it's really cool. Look, again, we're not going to hold you, because I know you got stuff to do. So Jokes, do me a favor, please put the link for the Instagram for Big Lick Nova up so people can jump there. Everybody, please make sure you go and follow the Instagram for Big Lick, and then also the website. So look, almost everybody who's in here is local or relatively local. Make the trip out. I promise you we'll have a good time. We'll be there. So if you feel like you're not having a good time, come hang out with us. Like we'll make sure, you know what I mean? Like we'll make sure it happens. We're so excited to go. You guys go, look, share it out, let other people know what's going on, who's going to be there. We would love to see you all there. If you're there and you see us, say hi. What I mean? Like, don't don't duck and cover. Come to our panel. We are doing a panel. JD was gracious enough to reach out and talk to us again about doing a panel there. We're so excited to take Being Comfortable Being a Geek to that venue. Frosty, who is in the chat, is going to join us on that panel. So by all means, come and hang out with us and let's talk about what it is, what it means to get comfortable being a geek. If you're not, how you do it, and how people who are comfortable got that way. Saying it says, I'm upset I have to work. I'm always up there these days. I mean, you know, you can call out.
I'm gonna say, let them know you have some important business that must be taken care of.
Frosty says, my first ever. It is your first Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel. You have done panels with us before, but those were like top 10s. I'm excited to have you. Frosty, who is a member of the Comic Logic family out in that area, and Comic Logic will be there. They'll have a booth, so make sure you guys stop by and say hi to them. JD, thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're so excited to see you this weekend. Take care of all your business. I know you got a lot to wrap up.
Yeah, buddy.
Y'all have a great night.
You too.
This weekend, man.
Thank you so much.
One.
See.
Cool. For everybody else, what we're gonna do, we're getting ready to get into a little Star Wars. Is that all right with y'all?
That sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
Good.
You don't have a choice.
Represent some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy.
There we go.
Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts.
Oh man.
It's a golden age for the underworld.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh, Wayne talk about
The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit.
Oh, I don't like it.
It's an opportunity to make millions.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh.
All right, this is off a little bit.
Rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Slero, and now he wants you.
Jokes, I may have you pull this directly from YouTube.
I actually got it up right now if you want to.
Misfortune, buy your freedom.
Yeah, let's do that.
Got it.
We're gonna try it again.
From the
Our
top.
difficulties are technical sometimes.
Also, too, while I'm pulling this one up, another trailer did get released early thanks to Warner Brothers. That doesn't have to wait until 9:30.
Well, that's good.
Awesome.
So let's.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts. It's a golden age for the underworld. The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh, they're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Slero, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune, and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish.
I'm in.
Me too.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Daba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part.
For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship. Yes! Hang on.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Slero. Vess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Star Wars Outlaws, pre-order available now.
All right, listen. Cool. Let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
This has potential to be my favorite Star Wars thing.
Period.
Yes.
100% agree with you on that.
Yes.
Like, this is exactly where I need Star Wars to be when you're not dealing with Jedi. Like, here's the thing. I've always kind of found it funny that in the grand scheme of like how video games work, how like role-playing stuff works or whatever, that, you know, you have your basic like character types, right? You have like your fighters, you have your mages,
right?
And like in the Star Wars world, like one of those character types is just scoundrel, dog. Like it's not actually bounty hunter, it's scoundrel.
It really is.
And that's just where I want to be. You know what I mean? Like we're introducing new factions, new characters. It feels right. It feels like it's in the world. They have that right thing of like Star Wars is as much about the characters as it is about the ships. The ships are characters. So yes, this ship needs to be dope. It needs to be important. You kind of need to live and move in and out of it. It just seems like they're getting all those things right. Now it's just a matter of if it plays well.
Of course.
Hey, listen, that's otherwise it's like cutscenes. I know we talk about cutscenes being the best part of the game. Like right now, those are looking pretty good.
Yeah, I think I will be there August 30th. As long, like you said, Gage, as long as the gameplay is tracking well, like I love everything I saw. I like the way the story's headed, like dealing with the scoundrels and the gangs and all that stuff, not necessarily pulling from Jedis and everything. Like I'm fully looking forward to where this develops everything. I'm hyped for it.
So they dropped a trailer about the trailer. They did like a developer deep dive about this trailer at the same time. You are not the only one who needs a Nix. Like, you know, I don't even do pets, and that's not.
Mine's
listen,
right there chilling.
Here's the thing: if you can train a joint to go get me a gun, yeah, you can come with me, dog. We can hang out. We good. Like, yeah, go get me a gun.
Work on that.
Nah, you can't train someone to go get you a gun. You just can't.
Right now, it's just a ball. He'll do that and bring it back all day.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
That's right. I start going and throwing the Nerf gun around. See if we can give him the,
I don't think.
I don't know if it's going to work.
All right. Yeah. So. Yeah, I just think this has a lot of potential. It's worth looking into the developer deep dive. A lot of what you're seeing, yes, there are cutscenes, but like, it's all in engine, which is a good thing. It is massive. These are the same people who were like responsible for like the Division and the Division 2. So like we know that they know how to do some things with shooting and make it feel good and that kind of thing. So like traversal, we'll see. Because traversal's not really a thing in the Division. That's not it's terrible. This needs to feel really good. But I'm there. I'm excited about it. I'm more excited about this than I was ever about either of the Jedi games that came out. Both of which had potential but just didn't work for me. Story-wise, those games are there. Gameplay-wise, they weren't there for me.
Right.
That's my biggest concern with this right now. But everything else about it is feeling right.
Shaping up pretty good.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Jokes. Let's just go ahead and jump. Let's do this Joker trailer. We were gonna try to wait until 9:30, but if they dropped it, let's watch it.
They dropped it at like 8:45. I had a Twitter jump pop up. Was like, here's the full Joker trailer from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, somebody probably leaked it, and they were like, "Well, we might as well just
go ahead and do it."
Yeah. So let's do it.
Let's go, boys! It's showtime! Wakey, wakey! Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves.
Love.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have.
Let's get out of here.
What the world needs now is a love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just to live. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur?
I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
I want to see the real you.
Yo, that's just dope cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography. Yeah, that joint is clean. It's over 4.
Listen.
Hey, look, I'm actually. I'm
scared about that dude. She's amped.
I can't tell you how bad I want to see that movie, and I haven't seen the first one still. I will be there day one to see that film.
Look, I think it might be important to see the first one.
Oh no,
yeah, just a little bit.
That will be corrected most promptly. Don't worry now.
Yeah, just honestly because it's such a different take on. Again, there really is no Joker origin story technically, right? Like, there's been a Batman origin story that is like around the Joker, and there's been talk of what it is, and then of course in the comics, like, oh well, there's 3 Jokers. Like, figure it out, DC, right? But like this version, the way that movie lines everything up to put Arthur Fleck in the position he ends up in is like, it just works. It's smart. It's extremely cinematic. It's sad. And this, I mean, it looks to me like Harley this is like a completely different take path.
I'm good
for
with that.
Harley, certainly. So, again, I just think that's going to be really interesting, and I'm interested in seeing a different take on these characters that have been around for so long.
100%.
Yeah, I'm in. I don't really need them to sing.
I believe they are supposed to.
And listen, I listen to Lady Gaga.
That's the part of it that's kind of messing with me a little bit as a musical. However, here's what I will say. The episodes of Justice League and Batman the Animated Series where Bruce Wayne Batman sings are some of the best episodes ever made. Period. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, Jokes.
I know. I've definitely watched all of Justice League, and I have watched all of Batman the Animated Series. I am good on this part.
All right, my man. Yeah, it's just like super. I'm excited. I'm actually amped for this one. That's a theater watch for me.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I I'm like initially when they originally announced it and said the musical aspect, I was kind of in that same place. Like I don't quite get it, but I'm ready to see how it gets folded into the whole entire thing. Especially like you said, that cinematography at the end and having like those type of things really sell me as well too. So
yeah, just that overhead shot with the 4 different color umbrellas, and they're in umbrellas, and he's not. He just getting rained on, and they just walking with umbrellas, and not even. But that shot is so gray. It's so just kind of like bleak and dark, and just the brightness of those umbrellas is like,
hey, listen, and not to mention homie that just got hit by the car for whatever random reason. I just want to know what homie was doing before he got hit by the car.
It wasn't random. He ran in the street. That's not random. If you run in the street, you get hit by a car. That's how that works.
What equals 2.
What do you
like,
mean?
that's it.
Would you like to try? Like, go see, Joe, what happens if you run in the street. Here's the question. I'll let either one of you answer this. What's the popcorn bucket gonna look like?
I don't see one of those for this. Maybe some decoration on it. Maybe just ads or stuff on it. I don't see anything collectible to come from this.
I was trying to
nothing in like a strange shape. It'll just be like a popcorn bucket, but it'll have
maybe
the
half and half, like Joker's out suit on one side and Harley's on the other, something like that.
I was trying to think of something from the first one. Like there wasn't really anything that was like an iconic.
They weren't really doing that then,
right?
Technically,
so I don't know what they would do. I feel like obviously, just like you said, there will be something, even if it's just somehow it's just Joker. I don't know if it'll just be the name. Obviously, the smile is the only thing that I can think of, and how they would incorporate that into something.
Why so serious?
But we shall see.
Yeah. I'm liking that. All right, we're gonna close out the show briefly. Last thing I want to talk about before we do that. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had discussions on this show multiple times about video games and Xbox and what's going on and all that kind of stuff. And so there was an internal email from Microsoft that came out this week from Sarah Bond that specifically spoke about how the company is all in on next gen. We are full steam ahead. Like the email reads, we are full steam ahead on next gen right now. Which of course has people like, wait,
what do you?
Look, we talked about the PlayStation 5 Pro over the last couple of weeks and the speculation that that's hitting, this year and all of that kind of stuff. So for them again, and reiterating on that same statement that was made when they did that like discussion podcast about this being the biggest leap generationally in terms of technology and what have you, and trying to figure out exactly what that means. We also know, and it was stated in that email, that Sarah Bond has specifically put together a team, a backwards compatibility team.
Ooh.
So that also means to me that they are all in on making sure that whatever the next thing they do, everything they've done this generation and the last generation, and still works moving forward.
Yeah.
Kareem Chowdhury, who has been at like the helm of a lot of that kind of stuff, very quietly left Xbox. I think he just retired. There was nothing posted on his Twitter, but other people who know him, like Mike Ibarra, who used to be at Microsoft, who left and went to Bethesda, or was like with Diablo, and now he's back. Well, I guess Activision. Now he's back, I guess, because of the purchase with Activision. And I think he left again. Like he put a whole thing out, just kind of congratulating him. And so they have a new team that they've put together specifically to look at backwards compatibility. And what they are saying is that the next generation for Xbox will come out, dare I say it, 2028. Jokes. Does that feel right?
2028 feels about right.
I mean, the systems we currently have came out in 2020. That'll be 8 years. That actually might be a little bit too long. That would make it longer than like the last 2 generations. They were both, I mean, they were 7 years. 2013 was PS4, Xbox One, and then current generation PS5, Xbox Series was 2020. So that's 7 years. Prior to that, it was 05 and 06 were 360 and PS3. So again, about 7 years. So this is actually a little bit longer, which kind of makes sense because you gotta subtract the COVID years.
2020. I was gonna say, honestly, 2020, 2021, I feel like you kind of subtract out of it because like the fact that they were able to get the consoles out in 2020 still.
Yeah, 100%.
Major success on that part. So I think you can at least take out the year so, which kind of puts you still in that same set.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it really means to have the biggest technological leap that we've ever seen, right? Because you know, the leap from, let's say, last gen to this gen, I don't think felt that significant to most people. I think the biggest thing was probably the loading times, right? Like hard drives,
zoom and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
versus the hard drive, which has definitely, you know, had an effect on gaming, but it, you know, from a visual standpoint, it's better, but it's not like going from 8-bit to 16 or 16 to 64, 128. Like, it's not that jump from 2D to 3D.
Yeah.
You know, it's a jump from SD to HD. And then HD to Ultra HD.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's possible that in the next 4 years, 8K TVs could really be a thing. And it's highly possible. I mean, 4K TVs have been around for a long time. And at the prices that they currently exist, I mean, 8K TVs could. But what it costs for everybody around to get content up and running at 8K, cameras that shoot in 8K so that you can broadcast TV and stuff like that in 8K is like
crazy.
It's stupid. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think what's gonna happen is it's all gonna be handled in AI. I don't think you're going to get anything that is technically a true, honest, native. You're probably not even going to get honest native 4K really anymore. I think what you're going to see is VRR, variable refresh rates, and AI-driven tech that takes an image that isn't 4K and upscales it and line doubles it to make it look like it's 4K and or make it look like it's 8K, like 8K. Like, they'll get close. But I'm starting to honestly feel like right now, the only way you're getting a true 4K 60 with ray tracing, because that's the other big thing, you got to have the ray tracing, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be AI. Like, it's going to be fake, technically. And you won't know. And your eyes won't really be able to tell until you go back and you look at it.
Yeah, years later.
Yeah, the old way. Like, the technology that's built into TVs that can kind of do that.
Nah, that ship sailed.
Yeah.
Is it the Xbox 720? Yeah, definitely not. Look, here's the thing. The reason why it was called the Xbox 360 is because PlayStation was on 3. And so if you call it the Xbox 2, while PlayStation's on 3, just 2 sounds like less than, and so they didn't want that. So they went with something that had a 3 in it. 360 all encompassing, which is literally the exact same thing that the 1 was supposed to be when you went to Xbox One, which makes the whole argument that the reason why we went to 360 was so we didn't sound like we were behind, and then turn around and when they go to 4, you go to 1.
Back to 1, yeah.
Void.
Bro, listen. What I'm gonna tell you is there's no way to to honestly guess and predetermine what Xbox is gonna call whatever they do next, bro.
Next one come out, it'll just be called the Xbox.
I'll be honest, there is a part of me that feels like they're not gonna call the next PlayStation 6. There's a part of me that feels like that. Like I almost feel like they're gonna reset and just call it PlayStation. Like I honestly believe that right now where we're getting to is we're getting to a point where we're just going platform.
That's about
So it's an app on your TV, it's an app on your phone, you access your content, and you're just on PlayStation.
Right.
You're just on Xbox. You're just on, whatever platform you have. Like people are just, there is no Steam 1 and Steam 2 and Steam 3. You just on Steam.
You
know what I mean? You upgrade your PC, you upgrade the box around it so that it can do more, but the platform itself stays the same, right? You are in the Apple ecosystem, regardless of what the number is behind it, you're still on iOS. It's iOS 15, 16, 16.2, whatever it is, you're still on iOS, which by the way, just because I happen to say the word Apple, I digress. Man, them coming out this week and saying that they are allowing emulators on Apple product is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
It's like, oh yeah, your iPhone, your Macs, your iPads, go ahead and get your emulators. We have crossed the line.
Yeah.
We have crossed the line. We've crossed the line. And I'm gonna tell you why. Xbox also makes crazy project names for the day oneers. I mean, you're right, but internally inside Xbox, those names always make sense. It's always like the names of certain cities, or like it's like internally those names make way more sense than like Nintendo's internal names. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And like PlayStation's internal names was like all named after like the Matrix stuff originally. Like if you remember that, like that's all crazy. Dog, we've crossed the line because Apple allowing emulators
That's crazy
means everybody else. There's no way Xbox lets that happen. They can't. They're not gonna just let that be. They won't. They're just gonna be like, oh yeah. Listen, we don't have nothing to do with how you get your ROMs. Emulator, come play house. Like it like Apple opening that door is Android's gonna do it. They have to. Google's gonna do it. It's gonna be all over Alphabet. And if they do it, Xbox gotta do it, and PlayStation gotta do it. And because that's the ecosystem, that's the fight they're fighting.
Yeah.
That's the fight they're fighting. Can you imagine for a second? Now think about this. You're Apple, and you've been in like legal disputes with everybody else. Xbox, Google, whatever, about your ecosystem and the monopoly and letting things happen. And like, you can have Game Pass on here, but every game has to go through certification. They have to pay for it, and everything has to like, Apple wants their money. Totally get it. For them to just be like, oh, y'all have an issue with the way we doing it? Cool. Emulators are cool. The moment somebody puts an Xbox emulator on Apple, period, Microsoft gonna be like, hold tight, Slim. Now you messing with my money. That's not
Nintendo.
like
Nintendo is.
Listen, like we know that people have been hacking PlayStation portables and like you name it, bro, to like be able to homebrew stuff and whatever forever, bro. And yes, there are a lot of people who do what we'll call retro gaming, NES games, Super NES games, Genesis, Mega Drive, all that kind of stuff, right? And I do feel like there's a lot of people who maybe don't care about that, but so much. But like as Nintendo continues to charge you a fee to play online and have access to those games as they see fit and give it to you and take it away from you.
True.
And Microsoft works really hard to ensure that you come to their ecosystem specifically because they offer you an option in backwards compatibility that nobody else does. Like PlayStation has it kind of. But it's like, but you have to pay to be able to just play them. Like, you don't own them, you don't whatever, but you got to be paying for the service to have access to these old games. You're not going to have a drive anymore, so you're not putting your old disc drive in and being able to play your old games or whatever. Microsoft is the only one that's really giving you like, oh, you bought this with this, you know, so now that UMD Spider-Man, I'm not going to act like I don't have one of those just laying around because of what it is. The idea that they're just like, yeah, nah, you bought it on your profile in our ecosystem, so you have it and it works and your saves are there and you know what I mean, everything is there. Like with PlayStation, you can't bring your saves over if you don't have PlayStation Plus. Like, you don't get cloud saves. You can't do that. They're not giving you that. Nintendo's basically the same way. Like, you can forget it if you thought you were gonna have your saves. You just
you gotta be careful
on all your games over again every time, right?
Super careful with that.
As we get into more and more games that are the kinds of games that are like, well, we just play this forever. I want to tell you that there was a report that came out this week that said over the last year, the top 10 most played video games on every platform are all games, with the exception of one or two, that are at least 6 years old. All of them. The top 10 games are at least 6 years old. And of course, GTA is at the top of that list.
The list. No way around that.
Right? But like the list for Xbox, the only game that isn't old was Starfield. Everything else was like Call of Duty. It was Fortnite. It was like, it's all stuff that is old and has been around for a long time that people are just continuing to play. And it is really having an effect. Like, that report stabbed the industry in the heart because people are like, is it worth it to make a Star Wars Outlaws? The kind of money it will cost us to pay for that IP. I said that GTA dog. It's not, and that joint ain't moving until 6 drop, and it still might not move.
It's gonna stick around for a while.
People gonna be scared. They're gonna be like, you know what?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna stay myself.
This works stable. I'm gonna stay here till the bugs or whatever get fixed. Then I'll jump in,
and then I'll just create another one and character and just go ahead and grind it out on that side.
Yeah.
That chase to have the game that people are perpetually in. Companies like Naughty Dog, they don't do that. There is a genuine concern about whether or not those companies can continue to exist with the kind of money they have to spend to make the kind of games they have to make when they don't see the kind of sales that are necessary to pay for it. And then they don't have people, they don't have an ecosystem created around it to keep people in it. People buying skins and coming back. Like, dog, y'all know I don't care about Fortnite for real, but I'm getting all them avatar skins they dropped today. I'm getting all them jumps, all of them. And I was talking to my man earlier, and he was like, as soon as them One Piece joints drop, I don't care if they $150, I'm buying all of them joints. And I was like,
that's on it.
I'm in the Fortnite store. Where's the bundle? Just
as soon as they drop Power Rangers, just give them all to me. Credit card, just take it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, again, you're talking about a platform, right? So like, these kids don't know what it is to have a game that's just like, you gotta play. Like, we played games over and over again because we didn't have choice. Like, this is the game you have. This is the joint you rented this weekend. You better play this joint.
Get your money's worth.
You better play this joint, right? Man, listen, I remember when Blockbuster went to like 5 days from 3 days. I was like, oh, they crazy. They tripping. Like, I'm a what? Like, I could beat everything. Like, it just, kids don't have that to worry about. They don't care. It doesn't matter. They're just like, Fortnite is their playground. Roblox is their playground. They don't go out and play with each other anymore. They don't sit down and do D&D. They play Fortnite and talk about what's going on in their day. It's them talking on the phone. Yeah, that collector's mindset is definitely like, again, like, it's cool. I'm like, I could live without the avatar. I could live without the avatar skins in Fortnite for sure. Hey, but dog, you can't tell me you adding firebending and waterbending and earthbending in Fortnite, and I'm not going. I gotta see something. I gotta see something. Let me see something. You know what I'm saying? Because waterbending was already there.
Now they're just adding the rest of them.
Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me. I haven't turned that joint on since they put the Spider-Man stuff in it. I don't care. It's there when I go back.
Was X-Men Jones, Game in a Row. I think that was the last thing I got. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's so like, and they gonna do it again. Like, I don't care what they do. If they do Fantastic Four skins, I don't care. Not happening.
No, not buying those.
I don't.
Not get my money for those.
Run that back. Nobody clicked what I said. Fantastic Four skins. I don't like the way that sounds. But listen. but like, there was also. We're gonna pivot. We're just gonna use that and pivot a little bit. People were complaining about the fact that Silver Surfer was cast. A woman was cast to play Silver Surfer. What's her name from Ozark?
I forget. Yeah. I can't think of her
name.
The one who was the little girl on Ozark who grew up and was just like wilding out. Like, I can't think of her name. But anyway, they cast her to play Silver Surfer, and people are like upset. Whatever, dog. I think the thing I'm most excited about with Fantastic Four is the fact that it takes place in the 60s. Julia Garner, yeah. Takes place in the 60s. That's cool. Like, I'm actually cool with that, because that makes me wonder what they're really doing. Like, if it takes place in the 60s, you're not gonna tell me these man has been around the whole time.
Ain't no way they getting yanked up out that dimension.
You're not gonna tell me that they showed up while Captain America was in the ice. You know what I'm saying? Like, where they been? So I feel like, again, dog, I'm so excited about Deadpool just to see what it does to the universe.
Yes.
I'm so excited just to see what it does to the universe, because I feel like it's going to answer so many questions.
He just gonna come out and answer, like, just straight say, like, questions that are out there, just answer. Oh, you were wondering why such and such? Well, this is why. They didn't have the budget at Fox, so they could not do it.
Oh, he gonna wild out as Deadpool.
100%.
He's going to completely wild out.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Reynolds having Kevin Feige money to make a movie is kind of crazy, though. Like, it's kind of crazy. Listen, we're gonna wrap the show up, because now we're just on tangents about random geek stuff, which I love, but I got games to play. So the movie of the month this month, which I just got a text about, Ready Player One. We are having our discussion on Monday the 29th. So jump in, watch the movie. I am actually listening to the audiobook for that right now. And then I'm gonna watch it. Again, we'll be at Big Lick Comic-Con this weekend. I'm very excited. We're gonna do our Being Comfortable Being a Geek panel, and then we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna go out and shoot interviews and talk to people and have a good time. And there's some snacks that are loaded up. I got some fresh Oreos, dirt cake Oreos, churro Oreos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some things lined up for the show this weekend. So we're gonna shoot out to the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly. That's just so confusing to me. This is why isn't it the Chantilly Expo Center? But okay. Yeah, so we're gonna shoot out, do that. Looking forward to seeing a lot of people there again. If you make it out, by all means, say what's up to us. We'll be excited to see you. We're gonna try to see if we can't sneak attack and talk to, Tatiana Ali and Karen Parsons and Cal Dodd, and it's gonna be some wrestlers there, so I'm sure Jokes will be excited. And that's into apparently now is
Depends on the wrestlers.
Yeah, look, having all the Ninja Turtles together,
dope.
From '87. I'm just, I'm all in. I'm excited about it. Again, our autism shirts are live. Please go pick your stuff out, make your purchases. So we can donate those funds. Sin.
Yes.
Thriller Park Thursdays.
Thriller Park Thursdays, yes, sir.
What's popping?
We're starting the second half of Parasite. So that'll be episodes 13 through 15 this week. So coming off of an emotional last week. Started kind of normal, and then they got like really dramatic and depressing and sad when we were done. So looking forward to seeing where they go over here and pick it up. But great last week. Looking forward to this week. So 9:30 Thursday, Thriller Park channel in the Discord. Join us. Good times.
Dig it. So tomorrow, the entire first season of Fallout goes live on Amazon Prime. They bumped it up 2 days. It was originally Friday. Then they moved it to Thursday. Now they moved it to Wednesday. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Doesn't really matter. It'll all be there. So we will be doing a Spoiler Boys on it. The plan, just to give y'all a little inside baseball, because it's busy right now. The plan is to try to watch all of it. All of us to try to watch all of it and record our Spoiler Boys for it by next Wednesday so we can get that out for you. This Friday and every Friday going forward until X-Men 97 is over, we are going to be recording our thoughts on each episode. We are now being joined for the remaining episodes by our good friend Jerry Gaylord, who again was a storyboard artist on the show. So it'll be great to have his insight talking about what's going on in the show as we discuss the episodes. We did not do one for episode 4 yet. We were going to do that last week, and in kind of trying to pull all of this together, we're also working on an additional. Our friend Adam Butler will also be on that with us, but we're working on an additional guest. We'll see if we can work that out, but if nothing else, we'll try to get somebody there for the season finale. I don't want to talk too much about that just yet because we don't know if that's going to happen, but we do have Jerry, we do have Adam, we are going to have those discussions, and so we'll be recording them on Fridays and then getting them out as soon as possible, probably by Sunday. Jokes.
Not WrestleMania weekend, so yep, that should be your issue.
Yeah. So I mean, look, again, it's really busy. Additional conventions are popping up that we don't always normally get to do, that we don't, and we're just kind of trying to make sure we have our hands in the pot. So please just remember that there are only 4 of us. There are only 4 of us, and putting content together, creating content, editing content, posting content, it's a lot, and it's tough, and it's extremely time consuming, and it's hard to do, and that's why Patreon just helps so much. We are about 23 people away, subscribers away from hitting 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which will be a big deal for us. So again, please continue to subscribe, hit like, share. If you know somebody who just likes the kind of stuff that you like, please share some content with them. If you are a wrestling fan, as I know many of you are, let me first apologize for not allowing this show to be taken over by that bullshit. Like, nah, it's like don't you
dare.
But however, part of the reason why I did that is because these 2 guys spent a lot of time over the weekend, along with Marcus and some other folks, working really hard to make sure that they recapped the events of night 1, the events of night 2, and a recap on Raw from last night, right? Which just, look, it's not that they're not enjoying themselves watching all the content, but staying up to get in and record a conscious podcast and talk about what's going on so that there is content for you to consume, right? Because we could just talk about it amongst ourselves. Jokes, share the link. Please go and watch that content. There's a playlist that exists. So there's a night 1 recap, a night 2 recap, and then there is a recap from Raw from last night. Please go consume that content, share that content. We need
great talks.
And also appreciate any of y'all that actually were up as well too, and actually joined in those conversations. I'm gonna be real with you. When we got on and did that live, I was like, let's just do it live and see if anybody will jump in. I was pleasantly surprised to see how many of y'all were up in having the conversation with us. So much appreciated to that. Y'all making it seem like that we need to do more of that on the normal. I get it was WrestleMania weekend, but I feel like a lot of y'all y'all want
it's
that.
coming. It's most likely a regular thing, probably. Just
he's saying it, but he don't have no control over that. He don't know what he talking about. That's on jokes. He trying to push jokes. He trying to push jokes through the doorway.
I have already we had already had a conversation because obviously sometimes so Doctor Who was most certainly in those conversations with us.
Yeah,
hey,
so like
shout out to Ben too, because Ben randomly popped up and was like, "Hey, listen, let me get in right quick so I can talk about some of this right quick." Shout out to Ben for
like
jumping
that.
in with us. Great time.
Yeah. So 100%. Again, like, listen, we want to continue to make sure that we are doing what we can to bring you that content. But again, you're talking about half the team, you know what I mean, being stuck all night, all weekend doing that kind of stuff. And then like this weekend, the entire team, you know, being at a convention and trying to do that. And the weekend before we're split up and I'm at Maryland Day Festival while, you know what I mean? Like there's just, again, I can't express enough how much you're supporting, just being here to watch how much it matters and how much it means, because every little bit helps. So thank you again for doing that. We're going to continue to curate content for you that we love, because if we don't love it and don't want to do it, then you won't feel that when we talk about it, right? And so 100%. That's a lot of what that point is. And so I'll be honest, to watch Jokes turn Sin into the simp he is. Sin is a simp right now. And it is, I am enjoying. Look at this shirt, bro. Like I can't look at him. Look, it's so.
I don't care. I don't give two.
It is gold. It's gold. Who won the battle between the two of y'all and Marcus?
Unfortunately, Marcus. By a point.
Get him, champ.
By a point.
Get him, champ. You know what I'm saying?
Still calling shenanigans.
Hey, listen, there's some things we're going to have a discussion. We're probably going to have it on the Finisher podcast about predictions and when we make them, and then adding these last minute stipulations the night of it, because it ruined two of our picks.
If you accepted it, that's on you. Why you accept the stipulations and changes?
How am I supposed? No, not our stipulations within us. Like the actual event. And adding something.
Nah, not even a simp for mommy. Just a simp for wrestling right now. Like just I have the same issue. It's just mine is like people getting knocked out. It ain't wrestling.
True.
They'll tell you. I send them videos of people getting knocked
out every day.
Every day. I'm sending them the sweetest taboos, bro. Just people just and it's not, and I don't mean like just like random people in street fights or nothing like that. I'm talking about like MMA, like UFC, like
official in the ring. You just got caught slipping.
Hey, bro, little kids just backspin kick each other in the face and call it a day. Slim, like lifted Slim off his feet. Listen, anyway, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Jokes, you got a job to do.
Yeah,
you're doing your job. Sin, you got a job to do.
Yeah, so let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
You're the best. You're the best. We love y'all. Jokes, tell the people what I need them to hear.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Tools and lose.